G'day guys, Steve with Broken Sprocket. In this video I'm going to be adding some engine protection to my KTM 350. So let's get started. Okay, I've bought these engine protection covers for the KTM 350. They look quite good. They cover pretty much most of the engine, cover the water pump, the bottom of the casing, the clutch slave cylinder, the magneto cover, even the piece for the starter motor. So they look like they're quite a good thing. The reason I've bought these is because the areas in which I ride are very rocky. There's lots of big rocks, small rocks, and because I'm not that great a rider, I often drop the bike and there always seems to be a convenient rock right where the engine is to cop a good hit. In fact, my RMX 450Z had a really big gouge and dent inside the clutch cover, so it was pretty lucky that that didn't break all the way. So I'm going to protect this engine and do it really early in the piece so that it stays good. First item on the list is just lower the dash plate. Now with the dash plate lowered and out of the way, I'll just have to loosen this gear shifter. I don't know if I'll have to take it all the way off or just have to loosen it up. I may as well take it all the way off. Alright, in the kit you get these small little brass washers, and on the covers there's a hole that's big which doesn't have the one, and this one here, the smaller holes get the brass washer, and they're the actual holes you have to take the bolt off on the covers, because they're the ones that are going to hold it on, and these ones here just go over the bolts that don't get removed at all. The back section of the box does have pretty easy to follow instructions on which bolts to take off, so we'll just remove the bolts that need to come out. Now with the required bolts out, I'm just going to sit this in place. Move this little bit of wire out the way, and it just covers straight over nicely there, and then just put the bolts back in with those washers. You'll see here these bigger holes, the bolts just go straight in between, so that's why them ones stay there. Add in one of these copper little washers onto the bolt. Now as you retighten them, just make sure that it sits in so that copper washer goes right into place where it required. Don't over tighten them. Okay, this cover is now installed, giving protection to your starter motor section here, your slave cylinder for the clutch, and also your casing here. So now just reinstall the gear lever and onto the other side. Okay, on the clutch side it's the exact same thing. I might be able to get it past the brake lever. You've got the copper washers that go into there over the bolts that are required to take off. Okay, let's see if I can slide this in without having to remove the brake. Oh, look at that. It worked. Again, don't over tighten these, just enough so that they nick. Okay, this cover here is covering quite a lot of the engine. You can still top up the engine oil, you can still check your oil level. It covers the water pump completely, and it also comes way down under here and covers the bottom of the engine casing. The only one thing is this clutch cover section here is coming out much further, so I was already having trouble with this brake because this tip is very small, so I'm definitely going to have to replace the tip with a bigger one because it's coming out more now. Will make that even harder to find the tip for your brake. That's the only problem I can see. Now when you put this standard bash cover back in place, there's quite a lot of protection here now for this engine. I like this section here where the bottom of this piece is covered, because a big rock come in and hit this. There's nothing that would protect that, but now it does have some good protection there. So just reinstall the bash plate and it should be job done. Okay, one last look. We've got the top section here of the engine where the starter motor clicks in protected. Clutch slave cylinder is protected. This magneto cover area is protected. And as the standard bash plate comes in, it also gives extra protection again down the bottom section here. So there's quite a lot of protection to this side of the bike. The bike also came with these standard protectors here for the frame, so I'm feeling quite confident in some of the protection here now. And as we head to the other side, the standard bash plate's giving good protection to the front of the engine. These standard covers, they're not actually too bad. They can take a bit of punishment, these. And the casing cover goes way behind this cover here, so that's good protection here. Way down here on the bottom of the motor. And of course, your clutch cover is protected, as well as the water pump. Watch this video next, or go to the Broken Sprocket video library and choose another top video. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. After all, it's for free and guaranteed to make your day 20% better. If you're already a subscriber and you're having a bad day, just think it could have been 20% worse. You can also follow Broken Sprocket on Instagram. So, I'll see you in the next video.